Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
One Danville gas station owner takes security to a whole new level. Hear more next.
An update tonight on the suspect injured when a restaurant owner opened fire on him and another man during a robbery attempt.
Police in Irvin cracking down on drugs after a 2-month investigation, adding up to 28 arrests today alone.
WKYT News starts now. Good evening. Still no arrests nearly 2 weeks after a shooting injured a Central Kentucky restaurant employee. Police made another call for tips today in the robbery attempt that injured 20-year-old Zoe Reed. As the case goes unsolved, store owners in that area are making sure to protect them and their businesses. WKYT's Jordan Valines introduces us to one of them in our top story.
Right off of busy US 127 sits the Hill of Beans BP gas station,
I can get you out here, buddy.
where locals often stop by
Thanks. Have a good day.
to pick up some home-style cooking
Baked potato salad here. This should be, just got to add some more sauce to it.
and to say hello to the familiar faces behind the counter.
How you doing, buddy? Good. How are you? Good. That's all we need to do.
But don't mistake their friendliness for foolishness. Co-owner Michelle Wilkins is well aware that stores like hers are frequently targeted by thieves.
With everything that's been going on, every time I turn the news on, there's something, and then the things that just are a little more close to home now.
Last week, just down the road from the gas station, a Domino's Pizza employee was shot while working, which is exactly why Wilkins uses extra safety precautions, even carrying her 9mm gun at work.
But, you know, they'll say, like, I don't blame you for wearing that. Everything that's going on this day and time.
While most convenience stores have 1, maybe 2 security cameras, this one has 16. Wilkins tells us not everyone approves of her safety precautions, but at the end of the day, she says she's just doing whatever it takes to protect herself and her family. In Danville, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
And her safety precautions seem to be paying off. In the past 3 years, no robberies have happened at her store. A suspect shot during an attempted robbery has died. The Fayette County coroner says 20-year-old Devon Marshall died this morning at UK Hospital. Winchester police say the owner of the 96 truck stop fired at Marshall and Curtis Wilkinson when they tried to rob him on Tuesday morning. Police say the pair also robbed a taxi driver on Monday. In an interview from jail, Wilkinson told us he's innocent of both crimes. Police respond to a report of shots fired at a Lexington apartment complex tonight. Police tell us the shots were fired during a burglary or a robbery on Jennifer Road just off of Eastland Parkway. Police are looking for suspects right now. They say it's possible one of them was hit by the gunfire. A 2-month investigation in Irvin ended today with nearly 30 people in jail. Police say they still have more arrests to make after cracking down on drug dealing in the area. Garrett Weimer is in Estill County with more on what people there say has been a problem for years. The story is new tonight.
In the quiet city of Irvin, it was a busy morning for police, making 28 arrests, police say, on drug charges like possession and trafficking. That includes a charge of drug trafficking within 1,000 feet of a school. This one, Estill Springs Elementary.
With drug trafficking, with drug use, usually comes criminal activity, and that's something we definitely don't want around our schools.
Folks I talked to here in Irvin say drugs have been a problem here for years. In fact, the first man I spoke to told me he himself had at one point been arrested for drug trafficking. Another man says he's not surprised by the drug problem because there's little else for people, especially kids, to do.
Listen, I mean, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got a theater, no putt-putt. There's nothing else to do. Look around it. Look at there. Everything down through there. For sale, for sale, for rent, for rent.
Police Chief Brad Smith says he thinks the problem is just more visible in a small town like Irvin, but he realizes there's still work to do when it comes to drugs in the area.
We could have went out today and arrested 100 and it would have been a ripple in the water. So it is an ongoing battle, and it's something that we take serious, and we look forward to continuing that.
In Estill County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Police in Irvin say they still have 3 arrests to make, and they say they'll likely make a 4th arrest after some more investigation. Police are investigating after a Bryan Station High School student says a man she didn't know approached her on the way to school. The Herald Leader is reporting school leaders sent a letter home with students. The letter says a man in a white truck offered the girl a ride as she walked to school near Bryan Avenue this morning. She ran to a nearby Walgreens where an employee led her inside. According to the letter, police will increase patrols in that area. Police have charged a father with abuse. They say he shook his 4-month-old daughter. According to an arrest citation, 27-year-old Darnell Tagaloa shook the baby because she wouldn't stop crying. We're told the baby suffered severe head injuries. Today we talked to the Lexington organization called The Nest. They say this case is upsetting and didn't have to end this way.
You know, we offer free child care, so if you need a break, all you have to do is just call us, and no matter what, we are going to make spots.
Tagaloa pled not guilty in court today. Investigators in western Kentucky spent the day searching for a fugitive considered armed and dangerous. State police spotted this man in Bowling Green just after midnight, but he got away. He checked into a hotel after running from police, but was gone by 9:30 a.m. He's wanted in a homicide investigation out of Pennsylvania, but not the one making national headlines the last 2 weeks.
Pretty certain they say he's not the subject there in Pennsylvania that is wanted for the murder of 2 Pennsylvania state troopers.
Warren County schools were on lockdown because of today's search. We're tracking the search for vandals who damaged a former school building. The vandals broke windows at the old Whitesburg High School, spilled paint inside, and left behind vulgar graffiti. While the school has been closed since 2004, the superintendent says it will still cost the district money.
It's not just an empty building that doesn't mean anything to the community or anybody else. You know, there's a lot of different people that could purchase that building, and it may provide another service to our community in you know, a number of different ways.
The building has surveillance cameras, but they aren't working since there's no electricity. A committee working on redrawing school lines in Fayette County met this afternoon. The committee discussed redrawing boundaries based on proximity. Data showed drawing the lines that way would leave some schools overcrowded and others without enough students. The Herald Leader reports the committee is working to have a proposal for the school board by early next year. The changes would go into effect when new schools open in 2016 and 2017. Lincoln County preschoolers are closer to having a space where they can attend class. A fire back on August 6th at the Board of Education building destroyed the district's preschool classrooms. The district hopes to have modular units by October 1st and start classes on October 20th. Until then, they're holding class any way they can.
Our staff has started actually bringing our children into our local library, doing some activities with them just to make the connections with those children.
The modular classrooms will be set up behind the board office on the old Stanford High School football field. And we're going to end the week maybe a little warmer than it started. That's according to the man who's the expert here, our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey. He's here with a early Friday forecast. What time is it now? Midnight?
We're almost there, my man. Absolutely. Gearing up toward that weekend. And here we are rolling toward the weekend with some very nice weather that continues out there throughout the region. Live First Alert Defender has been awfully quiet for the better part of the past couple of weeks. We throw the satellite on there to show just a little bit of high cloud cover that is creeping in now across parts of southern and southeastern Kentucky. That really isn't a whole lot to write home about. Up close and personal throughout the region, Live First Alert Defender has a whole lot of nothing showing up as we approach the midnight hour and get ready to kick off your Friday, which of course is leading us into that weekend. Had a little problem with some fog in certain areas earlier this morning, and that potential is certainly there again later tonight, early tomorrow morning, though it doesn't appear to be terribly widespread. A few spots could have visibilities first thing tomorrow morning reduced to under 3 or 4 miles. Just slow down, take it easy. A lot of that, though, will burn away and give us with another good-looking day. Sunshiny skies do return. Out the door in the morning, not as chilly with low 50s, already low 70s by lunchtime. Heading home on a Friday afternoon, we're right around 80 degrees as we jump into that weekend. Speaking of the weekend, we've got all our weather eyes focused on our Saturday and Sunday, Sam. It's the last weekend of September, and it looks like for the most part it's okay. I say for the most part, and I'll show you why I say that with the hour-by-hour forecast. We track a shower threat in a moment.
Thank you, Chris. From Target to Home Depot to Jimmy John's, many of the nation's most popular stores and restaurants have been hit by hackers. And if you think your credit or debit card has been compromised, experts say monitoring is the key. Steve Kelly over at Central Bank says they keep a close eye on breaches and strange activity on customer accounts. Watching your account yourself makes you even less likely to be victimized.
That's the first line of defense. I mean, as I say, the bank is monitoring strange activity that might occur, but you as an individual are going to recognize that even before the bank does.
Jimmy John's is the most recent business to have a data breach. In Kentucky, the shop in Palomar Center in Lexington, as well as locations in Somerset, Georgetown, Florence, and Louisville, were all affected. A frying pan, a brick, tools, even a chainsaw. Well, if you're wondering what those items have in common, they are all things confiscated at a Kentucky airport. The Transportation Security Administration says that they confiscate 150 pounds of items at the Louisville airport every month. And while some are amusing, others are downright dangerous. The TSA says knives are common. There's been an increase as well in guns, and they've even seen a couple of grenades.
Here in Louisville, we've, through the end of August, have found 11 firearms here at the checkpoint. For all of 2013, there was 14.
The TSA says they don't think most people have criminal intentions. Instead, most are trying to avoid checked bag fees and don't think about what's not allowed to be carried on planes these days. Iraq's prime minister delivers an unpleasant surprise during a speech at the United Nations. The terror threat U.S. officials didn't know anything about. A fourth American with Ebola cleared to leave the hospital. How a fellow survivor helped him improve.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and First Alert Defender.
Well, we're into Friday now. That means the weekend is just hours away, and we're rolling in, hoping that the nice weather just carries us on into Saturday and Sunday. The daily breakdown, which now includes our Friday, dealing with a fantastic day that is taking shape out there. Changes, though, begin to move in by Sunday. Shower chances will start to creep in from south to north as we go into the second half of our Sunday. Out the door forecast first thing tomorrow morning, maybe a little valley fog. Pretty nice start to the day, though, 50 to 55 in many cases throughout the land. Here's a check of live First Alert Defender, which continues to show the famous dry sweep that it has had each and every day so far this week. And I guess you could really put about a 2-week clock on Defender, where it's been void of a whole lot of precipitation. Next 24 hours, right around 80 tomorrow afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. High school football fans, look at that evening. This will be 3 weeks in a row, I believe, of just picture-perfect weather for high school football fans. What about the weekend? Rolling into Saturday, 80 degrees under a partly sunny sky. Keep an eye on Sunday. Late day shower chance, especially the farther south that we go. A lot of dry times in there if you have some outdoor activities scheduled for your Sunday. Let's take you into that weekend. And it's the hour-by-hour forecast. As we go toward our Saturday afternoon into Saturday evening, we're going to hang on to a partly cloudy sky. We go towards Sunday. System that is rolling its way from the Gulf of Mexico is going to roll on into the region. That will throw by late in the afternoon and early evening at least some showers across the southern half of the area. And chances are those showers will come at us in scattered fashion as we go into Sunday night and into Monday, and that'll get a little farther to the north. That is going to hold off, though, until we get well after UK football action on Saturday. A noon kickoff out of Commonwealth Stadium. Our neighbors from down in Nashville, the Vandy Commodores, coming to town. 74 around kickoff. Afternoon temperatures by the time we hit the fourth quarter likely to hit 80 degrees with a partly sunny sky. You'll see a little hint of some milky skies out there with some of those clouds that are streaming in from the south. So around 80 over the next couple of days. There's a shower chance late Sunday. A lot of dry times, though, Sunday. Better chances for a few showers as we go into Sunday night and Monday. Next week, still mainly a warm week until we go toward the end of the week, Sam, with some showers and thunderstorms, some gusty winds. I think it gets downright cold as we go toward the end of the first weekend of October. So let us enjoy the 70s and 80s while we have them, buddy.
And you're looking at two people who are going to enjoy that game on Saturday with that great weather.
Yeah, exactly right. It looks primo for tailgating, celebrating afterwards, and, of course, during the game.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Thanks, Chris. It is a bizarre case involving a truck full of frozen chicken, ransom, and a truck driver on the run. The unusual investigation coming up.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Iraq's prime minister delivered a disturbing surprise today in New York. He told reporters of an alleged plot by Islamic militants targeting subway systems in the U.S. and Paris. Marley Hall has more from New York.
Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi's off-camera comments about a threat to U.S. and French subways came as news to the Obama administration and leaders of America's largest cities. But federal and state officials said it was not credible.
There is no specific credible information about any specific threat to the New York City subway system.
But we can be vigilant without being fearful.
New York Mayor Bill de Blasio said the city with the nation's largest subway system is prepared every day.
A high state of vigilance and readiness is normal for all of us in New York City government. It's normal for the NYPD. It will continue.
Al-Abadi said that Iraq had received credible intelligence that Islamic State militants planned to attack rail systems in Paris and the U.S., and that the plot had not been thwarted, but U.S. intelligence could find no evidence. New York had already increased its police presence here in the city because of all the world leaders gathered for the UN General Assembly. Riders say they feel safe.
I feel that, police do the job, and I feel very content with traveling.
I mean, you can't let it ruin your day-to-day life. You just have to keep doing what you do.
Mayor de Blasio said Americans will not be held hostage.
Terrorists want us to live in fear. We refuse to live in fear.
Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
French officials also say that they had not heard of the plot before the Iraqi prime minister mentioned it. A third American doctor who contracted the Ebola virus while in West Africa is out of the hospital. The Nebraska Medical Center released Dr. Rick Sacra to applause, as you can hear there today. Doctors gave him an experimental drug and blood from another American Ebola survivor, Dr. Kent Brantley. Dr. Sacra also credits his faith and all the people who prayed for his recovery.
Ever since I committed my life to Jesus as a young man, he has loved me, stood beside me, and given me his grace. But the outpouring of grace that I have experienced during my fight with Ebola has been especially generous.
Dr. Sacra contracted the virus in late August while working in Liberia with a Christian mission group. A truck driver is on the run following a bizarre incident involving chicken. The driver abandoned a truck full of frozen chicken at a Montana truck stop 3 days ago. He texted his company demanding more money, and when they refused to give him the money, he took off without the truck. Well, it's been there for several days. The chicken is sitting in the heat and quickly becoming a health hazard.
This is pretty unusual. It's just a huge, not only is it disgusting, but it's a huge waste of food and resources. And this is a huge felony theft case right now.
Trucking company's insurance provider is in charge of cleaning up the mess. Health officials say a landfill will have to prepare for the load, possibly even digging a separate hole for all of it. Rob's next, and there is big news on Keith Bogans.
He goes into the UK Athletic Hall of Fame tomorrow night, and word this evening that he is changing teams in the NBA. And Mark Stoops has changed up his practice routine at the end of the week. How does he feel about it 3 games into the season? Sports is next. Kentucky has one more day to get ready for Vanderbilt. The Cats return home Saturday looking for their first SEC win since 2011. Now this season, Mark Stoops has changed his practices late in the week, going with a lighter workout Thursday, then turning up the speed Friday, the day before the game. Stoops said other schools were doing this with good results, and so far he's happy.
It seemed to work so far. It really has. So we'll see. Each week is a different test. But I've been pleased. I felt like we played fast, and that was the objective. I felt like we were fresh and played fast in each game. In particular, going down to the Swamp with a big SEC test and playing in the 3 overtimes, I feel like it's given us what we want.
This weekend, there's a top 25 NAI matchup with Kentucky Christian and Georgetown. The Knights are 24th. The Tigers ranked number 6. Georgetown has looked unstoppable in its first 2 weeks, putting in complete performances on both sides of the ball. Coach Bill Cronin says there is a reason.
This group seems to be bonding quite well. They seem to have a lot of interest in being successful. You know, we'll just take it a day at a time. But I think I see a high ceiling here. I see where we can get a lot better than what we are right now, and I hope that'll come.
Ex-Wildcat Keith Bogans is on the move, going from the Boston Celtics to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Matt Jones has some thoughts in tonight's KSR Minute.
There was some news late tonight that Keith Bogans has been traded from Boston to Cleveland, and I thought it was a great chance to honor one of my favorite and, in my opinion, most underrated players here ever. Bogans is being inducted into the UK Hall of Fame this weekend, which is great and deserved. Look, this is the all-time leading scoring guard in the history of UK basketball. Let me repeat that. The all-time leading guard scorer in the history of UK basketball. Yet he's often forgotten by fans because he struggled a little bit in the middle of his career. But he was on that 2003 team, which may be one of the 3 or 4 best to never win a title at Kentucky. They went undefeated in the SEC and won the SEC tournament. And I still think if he doesn't roll his ankle, they end up winning the national title. Keith Bogans was a great scorer and a good guy. He's played in the NBA for a long career, 12 years already, and now he'll be on the team with LeBron that has a chance to win a title. I hope he makes the team. I hope he stays on the team, and I'd like to see Bogans get a ring. Along with his Hall of Fame induction, it's something he deserves from one of the most underrated players to ever wear the UK uniform. I'm Matt Jones, and this is the KSR Minute.
What a scene in New York tonight. Derek Jeter, his final plate appearance in Yankee Stadium, and he comes through with an opposite field base hit to drive in the winning run. Storybook ending for him in New York. He doubled early in the game, ended up the night with 3 RBIs. And the Ryder Cup begins in just a matter of hours at Gleneagles in Scotland. The U.S. team, captained by Tom Watson, a heavy underdog. The U.S. will be trying to win the Cup for the first time since 2008, only the second time since 1999. Watson says his guys care.
They know of our position. They know we've been defeated, and they want to get that Cup back. That's the attitude that I want in them.
And they will tee it up at Gleneagles in just a little over 2 hours. We'll be right back.
What are we waking up to?
Temperature's not as chilly in the 50s. Tomorrow afternoon we're around 80 degrees. That carries us into Saturday. Looking good out at Commonwealth Stadium. Could be a shower to wrap up the weekend on Sunday. Still a lot of dry times on Sunday.
All right. Thanks for staying up late with us. We'll see you later today.